Coach, I guess what's kind of been your message to your guys here the last couple of days, especially after Saturday? That's just a tough one to get your guys to refocus after, or have they been good this week?
Yeah, just stay the course. Playing in the best league in college basketball. There's a lot of season left. We have a day-to-day process we believe in. Just keep putting ourselves back in these positions where we're in 1 and 2 possession games. Then eventually, I think it'll swing our way. But more than anything, just stay the course.
What have you seen this time around from Kansas that was different from whenever you went to Lawrence, and what have you guys really had them focus on this week that you feel like you guys need to do this tomorrow?
Just like with all Coach Self teams, they on any given night they do what it takes to win. So some nights it'll be guard oriented. Some nights they just slow the game down and throw it into Lucas every time. He's showed multiple defenses the last couple of weeks because of foul trouble and suspensions and things like that. So more than anything, just another talented Kansas team, pros in every position, and a Hall of Fame coach.
Tomorrow's a blackout. It's supposed to be, a lot of people here are going to be a big game. Just what do you have a message to fans you want to say to those guys or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has a black shirt I can borrow, I'm not good with all the fancy clothes. Like, I don't know the 16 and a half, 17 and all that. I'm a large. I own 3 shirts. One of them's still in a storage shed in Little Rock, so I've been kind of rotating 2 back and forth this year, a white one and a light blue one. And I just think, like with all people and coaches, I have my strengths and weaknesses, and dress is certainly not one of my strengths. So if anybody has a black shirt I can borrow, the office, I'm up here all night, normally till about 3 in the morning. And the doors lock at night because Texas Tech's a first-class institution with the best security. But if you knock on the window in my office, I'll come get the shirt.
What have you thought about the balance between maybe driving and taking jump shots? I know you liked how your guys drove the second half against TCU, but just what are your thoughts on the balance you guys have had here the last game or two?
Yeah, it's just victory favors the more aggressive team. And there's a relationship in college basketball between, making shots and winning. And then equally important, and maybe even more of an indicator, is which team is more aggressive. The best indicator of aggressiveness on offensive basketball is who gets to the free throw line. So it seems like when we're able to get to the free throw line, we're a better team. The stats show that. It's an amazing stat this year. So our message for our players and the way we've been trying to play is to be very aggressive offensively. In the TCU game, we basically had the same game plan in Lubbock and Fort Worth, but there's such a discrepancy in free throws. It's something that we're studying. We're trying to coach better. We're trying to give our players all the information they need to get to the free throw line. And that'll be a big thing against Kansas. Kansas is so big. There's 3-point shots out there against big teams like Kansas, but if you fall in love with those shots, it's a dangerous slope to go down. You've got to continue to be aggressive and take and make big shots to have a chance to play against a team like Kansas.
Halves, especially I think on the road, when you think about the first half against TCU and then that first half in Austin 2 weeks ago, what do you think's been the difference and the reason why maybe you guys have given up some big leads or turned it over in the last 2 minutes there, it seems like?
Yeah, I felt the same way. We studied it. We went back and watched every game this season. It's not necessarily the case in every game. We've also had some strong ends of the first half, but certainly lately, especially in some of these tough losses, we've had some leads, whether we're up 5 and then we go in the locker room up 1 or up 9 and now we're down 1. It's been a swing. So specifically in those times, we've had some untimely turnovers. Some of them have not been because of lack of effort or bad plays, just some bad breaks. Specifically against TCU, we executed a zone set perfectly. Anthony gets the ball around the basket. It's called for traveling. I've watched it 65 times. I don't think it's a travel, but that's part of basketball. So what we have to do is when we have something bad happen like that, self-inflicted or just part of the game, we got to be tough enough to make a play on the other end, and we haven't shown that. A break will go against us, and then we just can't get a stop. Or a break will go against us, and we can't get a basket. So it's just been the combination of our offense not helping our defense and our defense not helping our offense in the last couple minutes of the half. So we've addressed it. We've worked on it. We had a segment in practice yesterday where we played 2-minute games, so hopefully there'll be some improvement.
Coach, I got a shirt for you, by the way. I think we're similar size, so I got you on that one.
Perfect.
But you talked a little bit about it. them as far as suspensions and maybe some injuries and stuff they've dealt with. Do you think that they've gone a little bit more toward Lucas here of late, or is that something they've moved toward, or something we just maybe haven't seen as much because of how good their guards have been?
Yeah, I don't think so. Lucas has always been a focal point. To me, Kansas gets in modes. I told the team it's like Lucas mode. It's pretty obvious what they're trying to do right now. Jackson mode. A little pick and pop, throw him the ball at the top of the key, and let the first-round draft choice play. Great coaching. He puts his players in positions. Mason mode is when he's in the open court. Graham mode is when he's shooting, hunting three-point shots, and we can go on down the line. And that's why teams like Kansas are good. They've got great players, and they've got a great coach that puts them in space. But I think Mason's been a featured player from the very first game I watched this year.
What have you seen from Carlton Bragg? I know he missed a few games. He came back this past game, number 15. And what do you see when he's out on the court? What does he add to their team?
Yeah, he's very, very talented, obviously, but he's an energy guy. He plays really hard, and he makes a lot of big plays for Kansas, maybe that aren't even on the stat sheet. I've seen him tip balls to keep them alive. I've seen him rotate over and play help defense. I've seen him fly down the floor. The defense has to help. Now Graham gets a shot. So he's a player that has my utmost respect, and I think he's a really good player.
Coach, at this point in the season, would you consider this a must-win game, especially with him?
Me personally, every game I've ever coached has been a must-win. You put a lot of time and preparation in, and the objective's to win. We go one game at a time. So me personally, no, we got a lot of basketball left, but that's the way I address every game. And I think some of our players share that view, and some of them are starting to share that view. But certainly I understand and respect the question. It's the Big 12. It's February. We have to find a way to win at home if we're going to put ourselves in a position to, do something here in the last month of the season.
Big game tomorrow. Would you ever consider re-wearing the black shirt you have on now tomorrow?
I'd consider anything, If you know something I don't know about that, just let me know. I would do anything, barring breaking the law or putting my daughters in a bad situation to have a chance to, win this game. And I'm joking around about it, but I mean that for our players. They've been so close, and I feel a responsibility for that. I know the other coaches do too, the seniors do, just to try to do something to put us over the top. But, it gets very difficult this week because we're playing arguably the best three teams in the league. And so we just got to stay the course, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Just with kind of this back-to-back of really good teams, especially Baylor on Monday, how do you kind of, as a coach, approach a stretch like this where each team requires a lot of attention, but also you can't get too sidetracked with what's coming up, down the stretch?
Well, with our players and with preparation, we go one game at a time. And we obviously have coaches right now working on Baylor and West Virginia, but the message right now is 100% Kansas. And then when this game's over, we move to the next one. That's kind of how we do it internally as a staff. But with our team, I think another thing that's really important is, to me, this is fun. It's what it's all about. Like, you want to play the best teams in the country. We couldn't ask for a better stretch here to play, Kansas at home and then Baylor at home. This is what it's all about. And as a competitor, we don't shy away from that. This is why you sign up to play at Texas Tech and the Big 12 for moments like this. And I think that's maybe the foundation of everything, understanding that this is what it's all about. This is an opportunity.